right? So similarly, a joke also will have a better effect. It will hit harder when it is performed in your regional language or in your mother tongue.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 20th episode of Pepper Spotlight. I cannot believe it's been like 20 weeks that we have been doing this continuously every Wednesday, 3 p.m. on YouTube, on all audio platforms. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening to our show and watching this on YouTube, talking about this on Twitter, Instagram stories, wherever you guys keep sharing about this. And when we send out a newsletter about this, you guys reply to it and tell us what you like about this, what you don't like. Please feel free to share those recommendations and suggestions as to whom we should invite on the show and what we should be talking about. One thing that a lot of time we got this as a suggestion was how some specific regional content creators are creating content, building their audience, and working around that. And I think when we were hunting for somebody in a very, very niche category, we found out Praveen Kumar, who has a 1 hour Amazon Prime stand up special, that too in Tamil. It's also called The Family Man, and not the Manoj Vajpayee Family Man, but this is a different one. And this came long, long back. I think even before the first season was out. So I'm not sure about the dates of this, but I know this has been before the second season got released. And when I got to know about him and his entire journey as to how he first started in doing stand up in English, and from there he moved to Tamil and has been doing shows across the world. Can you imagine some stand up shows going sold out in US, UK, Europe, across in Australia, Hong Kong, a lot of other countries? And also now he's also doing virtual shows where a lot of people are attending his virtual gigs, which are in Tamil. And I think this conversation with him is about understanding how he's building that audience in Tamil and this entire category. At the same time, for me to watch his 1 hour special with only subtitles and me like having my eyes on subtitles and just listening to the delivery of it and how audience are responding to it was a whole new experience of consuming content. Let's get into the conversation with Praveen. This was pre-recorded with him over a Zoom call a few weeks back. So you will hear our conversation about regional content, how he's building an audience, and how he's enjoying being a family man. Thank you so much, Praveen, for giving us your time today and being on Pepper Spotlight. The very first agenda I have about this conversation is to really understand the family man and the whole synopsis of the Amazon special, because throughout while I was watching, my eyes were on the subtitles, and my at the same time I was trying to look at you and how the audience is reacting. But all that apart, thank you so much for agreeing to being on Pepper Spotlight.
Thank you very much for having me in your podcast, and it's a fun show. See, talk about Mr. Family Man. Mr. Family Man was my fifth solo special, and it got ready in two languages. I wrote that in English as well as in Tamil. I
Mhm.
practiced in English in Bangalore and I practiced Tamil in Chennai. So it I wanted to launch in English. I launched it in English in uh, different places like Hyderabad, Pune, Bombay, everywhere. And then I started doing Tamil. So the Tamil version got more response. Since we released a show in YouTube called Muppataru Vayadinile. That is my previous show, which is there in YouTube, full show. That was my first Tamil show and my fourth overall special. And that got amazing response online. And then slowly my shift as well as the audience uh, mindset shifted towards Tamil. So that's when
Okay.
I thought, okay, let me do this in Tamil everywhere. I know I'll be alienating some of my regular audience who are non-Tamilians, but I had to take this harsh decision. But I was sure that I'll be gaining more Tamil audience for this. The number of people who will be listening to me for the first time will be more than the number of people I'll be losing. So I thought I uh, took this gamble. I did this gamble, and then I started doing only in Tamil, Mr. Family Man. And once I started doing it, I did this show in Tamil in 8 different countries. 8 different countries. Got a good response from everybody. Like I did it in India, of course, uh, Dubai, Malaysia, Singapore, Hong Kong, US, Australia, and Bahrain. So 8 different countries I did. And after the tour, we pitched it to Amazon. Amazon liked it, and we got the show in Amazon. The entire show is about um, how a family man is a superhero.
Hmm.
See, we all talk about women being the superhero in a family who does all the work, which is true. But we also do work, is what I'm saying. We also do, even if not the same amount of work. The entire show is about we also deserve little credit for the work we are doing. So the entire show is about how we have our everyday routine, and with interspersed with small stories on how a family man is suffering. Like there's a story on how as a family man I managed a scenario when a mouse entered the house, and there is
Hmm.
a story on how a family man takes the how a family man takes the whole thing when a daughter's school parent teacher meeting is happening, and they when they request you to do stand-up comedy for the school. And I also talk about I don't like shopping, but I had to do shopping because my wife likes it. So all
Hmm.
these kind of thing, when a painting work happens in your house, what kind of stuff you are going through, and the relationship you maintain with the plumbers, carpenters, electricians, and
Hmm.
all necessary work. So all these things put together, I thought I'll pull out a show in which I talk about a family man being a superhero because he manages so many things, and he deserves a little bit credit. Nothing to take away from women who are doing a great job, but we also deserve a little bit credit. Is what the whole show is all about.
You know, I'm a little scared because I recently got married, and to hear
Oh, welcome, 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 welcome,
to
welcome to
hear
that.
all this, I'm like, oh, this is what I'm gonna feel after a few years, or maybe after a few months. Um, but tell us about how you referred it as you took a gamble and you decided to do it in Tamil itself. So how did you take that decision? Was it based on data, gut, some analysis, some feedback? How do you really decide that?
It's a combination of everything. See, it was in 2017. I still remember 2017 Feb. I know you must be knowing this comedian called Sandeep Rao.
Hmm.
Sandeep Rao is a very good friend of mine. We all started the Bangalore scene together, and we were sitting, and he was giving his housewarming party, and all the other comics were there. I think even Kritat was there. So all of us were sitting and talking, and that's when one of them suggested, Sandeep or Satish, somebody suggested that why don't I do Tamil stand-up? Because I think in Tamil, translate the joke in English, and then do it in English. And I'm much better in Tamil than in English. I think in Tamil, I'm very comfortable in Tamil. Then I thought, okay, fine, this is something to think about. And the data point which I was talking about is there was nobody who was doing it Tamil that time. Full length Tamil show. Not even a single person who did a 1 hour Tamil show back then, 2017. Okay, and then the only hindrance to the whole thing is open mics in Bangalore. I cannot practice Tamil content in Bangalore open mics. So what I had to do is I had to go to Chennai, or rather come. I now I moved to Chennai. I had to rather come to Chennai once in 2 weeks, twice, 3 times a month. I used to travel just to do open mics, stay here for 2 days, 2 to 3 days, do all the open mics, and go back to Bangalore. So that's the whole thing I was doing, and it was little strenuous, but I was enjoying the whole process because see, when it's total, it's a 180-degree shift for me
Hmm.
because first of all, I don't have to be consciously aware of what I'm talking about on stage when I was performing in English. I
Yeah.
don't have to be consciously aware of the grammatically correct sentences I should be talking.
Hmm.
All I have to think is making it funny. Delivery, everything comes on its own because I am so comfortable in Tamil.
Got it. So,
And
so
when a joke,
naturally, let's say Tamil is what the language that you think in, and you are the most comfortable in. So, for you as an artist, it's very, naturally coming out when so you perform better when it's in
Correct.
Tamil.
Correct.
But tell us about how was the audience reaction? Because some people liked, let's say, some of your performances that you did in English, and at the same time, some people will not attend it if you shifted to Tamil, and some people might, be a little hesitant to now watch you in Tamil also. So how was that reaction in the beginning few gigs?
See, even when I was performing in English, I used to talk about being a Tamilian, from a small town and the whole thing. So at least 80% of my audience were Tamilians back then. I know I was losing the 20% of non-Tamilians, but that's a tough call to make. But in the bargain, I gained some lot of new Tamil followers. Uh,
Hmm.
that's the whole thing, right? When you start performing in a regional language, the kind of the joke will hit harder than when you perform in English. That's what my thinking is. Like when you're performing
Hmm.
in a regional language, a joke or anything for that matter, that will hit harder. Even if you tell a bad word, okay, a swear word, okay, in English as well as in Tamil, the Tamil one will pain more than an English one, right?
Hmm.
So similarly, a joke also will have a better effect. It will hit harder when it is performed in your regional language or in your mother tongue.
Hmm.
Uh, this is both for the performer as well as for the audience. Audience
Hmm.
also, that's what I'm thinking. There are some successful, amazingly successful English stand-up comedians out there, but still,
Yeah.
according to me, when it comes from a mother tongue, the person with the same mother tongue, the same jokes are coming in the same language, then the the hit rate, the success rate is more. The intensity of the joke hitting you hard is more, is what I'm guessing.
Yeah, yeah. And because I've been in this events and gigs space entirely, whenever you're trying to do a new kind of show, it's really, really hard to, sell tickets for it or, invite people for it and all of those things. Tell us about how you were handling that aspect of your comedy, where you have to, tell people about come to my show, sell tickets and all of those things. How were you managing all of that?
So, see, man, promoting a show is everyday job. See, uh, I, once I felt bad, a little awkward of promoting a show. Then I saw Shah Rukh Khan promoting left, right, in his movies. So I thought, okay, if Shah Rukh Khan had to do so much promos, Shah Rukh Khan had to go all the way to do that for his movies, which everybody knows that is getting released. Then
Yeah.
I'm nothing. I'm nobody. So I thought, okay, I'll go all out to do it on my own. So that's how it is. So when you see those kind of people going all out to promote their
Hmm.
own stuff, it's
Hmm.
it's your product. So if you don't promote, nobody else will. So
Yeah.
once you start attaching yourself to the product, once
Hmm.
you feel good that okay, you've done a good job,
Hmm.
writing, performing, practicing, it will take what about 6 to 8 months to get one product ready. And once
Hmm.
that is ready, once you are 100% sure, okay, now this particular product is good enough to be presented to the audience, you start liking the product. Now, what will happen is you would want that product to be seen by others. You want others to appreciate it. So you go all out to promote, like
Yeah.
use the social media, whatever platform,
Hmm.
everything to promote, to gain followers, to gain the audience to the show, and that. And after that, we want that word of mouth to spread. The people who
Hmm.
watched it. See what will happen to my shows are people. If I go and perform abroad, let's say I went to the US and perform, the people came and saw, and what they'll do is they'll inform their parents living here to watch the show. So when I
Yeah.
put out a show in Chennai or Bangalore, the parents will come and watch the show. When they come and take a photo with me, they'll tell, okay, my son in Seattle saw your show. My daughter in LA saw your show. They booked the ticket. They wanted me to watch the
Hmm.
show. So that's why we came. That feeling is there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that all happens once you start doing show. Before that, you'll have to shout your lungs
Yeah.
out, announce to the world that hey, I'm coming out with a new show. Right? It starts right from the photo shoot.
Yeah.
When you start publicizing the photo shoot, you create some curiosity among the audience, saying, okay,
Yeah.
there's something new coming up. The other show is over. It's already released online. So now we are looking
Yeah.
forward to the new show. Then you start giving them teasers.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's how the
And
whole thing. And you shouldn't feel bad doing it. It's your product. It's your baby.
yeah. Yeah. And tell me, now during the pandemic, because it's all virtual gigs and like online shows, how
Yeah.
has that been for you? And I'm sure I think you have been doing some virtual gigs as well. So tell us about that and how the response has been for it.
The first lockdown was a little disappointing in the sense we didn't know what to do. Like thought all of us thought everybody thought it was a just 21-day thing. After the 21 days, life will be back to normal, and it's been more than a year. But what I'm saying is, we didn't know what to do that time. Last year, March, April, nothing, no idea. From May onwards, slowly that online thing started. Online shows, corporate events. Slowly, everybody
Hmm.
started moving to that online media. First, I was really skeptical. I didn't know how the whole thing works. My first corporate show online was not even with the audience. It was for YouTube live. Uh, I just have to perform for myself. Okay, others will be watching somewhere. I don't even know whether they're watching or not.
Huh.
Okay, that was the weirdest experience. See, half an hour performing, seeing myself performing, and I don't even know. And after the show, only I got to know some 400, 500 people are watching it and they sent messages. But during the show,
Hmm.
I didn't know. I didn't have a clue. That was totally new for me that time. And then slowly I got used to it. Then there were a lot of other corporate shows that started coming after that, like June, July, August times and all. It was fun. Like there were some shows where we do it live, and we would request the audience member at least 5 to 10 of them to open their video and audio on, so we can hear them laugh and see them laugh. Some of them would do, most of them won't do it. Okay, so we are used to that. And then there's one more set of corporate show that happens when they ask you to record and send. I record my half
Okay.
an hour, send it
Hmm.
to them. So
Hmm.
they'll play it in their cultural thing. So
Okay.
again, that is
Hmm.
also again performing to your own thing. So
Yeah.
basically,
Yeah.
all kind of things happen now. Getting comfortable with the online thing, and then this year beginning, what happened? Okay, parallelly last year I got my next show ready on online open mics. I did a lot of online open mics and a lot of a lot of sessions happened, and then got my next show ready. So I was waiting for a good time to launch it, and I thought slowly the world is opening up beginning of this year. Then I announced to the world that I'll do a small tour of this show. And I did the tour in Feb and March. Small, kutti tour like Chennai, Bangalore, Coimbatore, Madurai, Tiruchi, Hyderabad. 6 city tour, all with 50% seating and all that. I did. I was like, okay, life is going back to normal. Very soon, probably next month, when the whole world opens up, we'll travel to US, to Dubai,
Hmm.
and we'll do shows in India with 100% seating. Everything are huge dreams. And then the second wave started. So second wave started, and we had to sit back at home and again embrace the online platform. And now what I'm doing is, now I thought, okay, let me not waste time waiting for the world to open up. Let me only do this online. So this particular show I'm doing online, this Tamil show which I'm doing, Kanchipuram Mapla, I'm doing online only now. Every
Hmm.
Saturday I'm doing this. I'm
So is
opening
it over
tickets.
like Zoom or how is it
It
like?
is over Zoom only. It
Okay.
is over Zoom. Every Saturday I'm doing it. Parallelly, probably, I'll keep doing it. The next month, probably I'll do it for only for US based audience. And
Hmm.
planning to do an international tour like US, UK, Australia, Singapore, sitting in one place, like sitting in a bedroom and doing all the shows all over.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
that's the plan, because I thought if you keep waiting, you will have to keep waiting for the
Yeah.
world to open up. You don't. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what's going to happen in the next few
Yeah.
months. So
Yeah.
instead of waiting, let me let me do it. Now people are stressed out, and 1 hour of comedy will make little bit of difference in their life. And
Yeah.
I did charity shows also. I did a fundraiser. People
Hmm.
paid money, and we collected, and we are donating it to the NGO. So that way, one good thing about this thing is ours is an art form which can be done
Hmm.
online, but I feel bad for so many art forms that cannot be done here.
Yeah.
There are so
Yeah.
many art forms, they are still waiting for the audience to come. They're still waiting for the world to open up. And I'm happy, even if it is just even if online stand up just gives 60% to 70% of the actual feel. Still, I'm happy that we are able to do it instead of sitting at home. See, if we had waited for this 21 days and it's become more than 1 year and 3 months now, God knows when it will get over also. So
Yeah.
Instead of waiting and endlessly, can just embrace what is happening and then make maximum use of it. That's what I
Yeah.
believe. And I think I am using it right now. Every Saturday I'm doing the show with online tickets. So
No, I think that's the way for it, because the endless waiting really makes you anxious after a point of time, and
correct.
it just makes you feel very restless also, that okay, till what time I have to wait and all of those things. It's not a very good feeling, especially for creative people and artists. It's really really just puts so much of pressure on your creative instincts then. So I think what you did is really really correct, and some other creators should also just take this up. Tell me about, because you were putting out your comedy videos on YouTube also, from putting it up on in English language and then in Tamil, how was that shift for your audience? Because I saw some of your videos have like millions of views, even if it's like a 1 hour long. One of your video is one
Yeah,
hour
yeah,
long, and
yeah,
it
yeah,
still has millions of views,
yeah, yeah.
which I think for me, technically, as a YouTube, like checking as a YouTube channel, having millions of views on a 1 hour long video is like brilliant. So tell us about you putting your content out there on YouTube, first in English, then in Tamil. How has the response been on YouTube for you, or on social media channels?
That video only changed my life. First I started performing in English and then put out videos in English. The response was decent, good enough. Right? And I kept on putting videos. So I did 3 specials in English, and I put out small videos from them. And then my third special was orthodoxically me, full English show. What I did was I initially put some 5 6 videos of 5 minutes each, and then put the whole video out, full show of orthodoxically me. It did well. Okay, it did well. Got some good response. After that, that shift of English to Tamil happened in live performance, and that's when I started writing this Mr. Family Man show in both the languages. First, I did the tour of English, and that's when we released this Muppatar Vedinile show, that 1 hour video which you're talking about. That's when we released that video, and that got instantly, because that was the first online show in Tamil, 1 hour
Hmm.
show in Tamil online.
Hmm.
So audience really liked it. So that's
Hmm.
close to 5 million views right now, and that that's the one that changed my life, right? In the sense, that's the one that created demand for me in Tamil space. That's the one which drove me to perform in Tamil than in English.
Hmm.
So the whole thing changed. So my stand-up comedy career can be divided into two: before Muppatar Vaidinile YouTube release and after Muppatar Vaidinile YouTube release.
Hmm.
So so after that, my life changed. Like, so many people started knowing me. So many people are willing to pay money to come and watch me. Then I established a brand of myself saying I am a clean comedian. I talk about family. You can trust me and bring your family and watch the show. You can trust me and send
Yeah.
your parents to watch it. You can bring your 10-year-old kid and he or she will understand this show. So you can
Yeah.
bring the whole family. It's like a family outing.
Yeah.
That's when the whole thing, the name of the show also is Family Man. So
Yeah.
everything, you know, got together. And
And I think the start of the show is with your daughter giving a disclaimer. So
correct,
that
correct.
itself like makes it like very family vibe kind of thing. You know, correct me if I'm wrong in tracing your timeline, where some like 5-10 years back, when you started the Bangalore comedy scene. I think this is 2010, 11,
Yeah.
something around that period. Uh, you did in English for quite some time, and then in 2016 or 17 is when you actually started doing it in Tamil. um, and then I think last year or last to last year is when you did countrywide shows, also going into different countries, performing over there in Tamil, and then also having like an Amazon Prime special. And I think that's the first regional comedy that's on an OTT platform like
Full
Amazon
length Tamil,
Prime. Yeah,
first
yeah.
full length Tamil.
I think Netflix doesn't even have a regional full-length comedy show as of now. Only Amazon Prime has. And I
Yeah.
think then you also went on to become a judge on the Tamil Comic Stan.
Correct.
And you know how you're talking about how you maybe made your image like that you're a clean comedian, and you can bring your family as well. I think it's very very smartly packaged distribution and promotion also. And I think it's a brilliant. I don't fully understand the comedy part, because obviously you have to understand Tamil to really,
Correct, correct.
get that. So, but if I just look at it at an angle of how as an artist you have, your journey has been, I think it's been really really brilliant as to how you also adapted to virtual gigs. So, like, kudos to you about that. But one thing I still want to understand is, how is this, you're the first person who started this, right? I mean, the first person in the country, in the world, who has done Tamil comedy shows. So how do you build that audience? And why I'm asking this, I'll also tell you that, because building an audience around your content, around your art, around your craft is something that a lot of people, are really trying hard to do on the internet. It can be for an entrepreneur, for an English comedian, for a musician, anybody. And a lot of these factual things might be very much similar. So I want to know from you, how did you do that Tamil comedy interested audience building for yourself?
Okay, when I started doing my first Tamil show live before putting it online after Orthodoxically, so I put out Orthodoxically Me full show. Then I started performing in Tamil. So whoever came to my show, Tamil show, were English audience. To be frank, to the first show was English audience who knows Tamil, who are watching English stand up, who already know Tamil. Okay, let me go and watch. I liked Orthodoxically Me, and I understand Tamil. Let's see what Praveen has got to do in Mupatharaval. So that's how the whole thing started. I did Mupatharaval only in three countries: India, Singapore, and Dubai. Okay, and I recorded the show, put it out online. So that online thing really helped, because this YouTube thing has got this magic of reaching out to everybody. A lot of people understood that there is something called stand-up comedy because of that video. Because see, whenever some English stand-up clip comes, they'll skip because first of all they are not comfortable with English, or they don't like English, or they don't want to know what is happening. When there is something Tamil which they like, Tamil stand-up comedy is happening, then they wanted to watch it. Okay, there are two or three kind of people who watched it. One who loved it, and they started watching my other videos. Okay, to the extent of going and
Hmm.
commenting on my 2011 video saying, "Why are you doing in English?
Hmm.
Do it in Tamil." The older videos.
Yeah.
And other audiences, they loved the show, they loved me, and then they were waiting for my next show to buy tickets and come.
Hmm.
And there are other audience who like the video, they subscribe and are waiting for more Tamil videos.
Hmm.
So these are the kind of people who started involving themselves in stand-up comedy. So what
Hmm.
I'll have to do is I'll have to keep feeding them.
Yeah.
I'll have to keep telling them. I have to put out content saying, see, I can do this in Tamil. I can do this in Family Man is happening. Come and watch. Family Man is happening. Come and watch. See, as a comic, what I should do is I should be more inclusive. I shouldn't make this elite thing.
Hmm.
Okay, since I'm
Yeah.
performing in Tamil, I have to reach out to more people. uh,
Yeah.
it, as an English comic, it used to be more elite. Like people who understand English only should come.
Hmm.
People staying in cities only should come. No, so I should break the barrier. When I'm starting performing in Tamil, it should reach out to more smaller towns, like tier
Yeah.
two, tier three cities. Say when I start performing in Tamil, I start performing in Trichy, in Madurai, right? When they embraced me, right? Like it was very very nice. Mr. Family Man's Trichy show is number one still,
Hmm.
like in terms of response. uh, so more and more audience started watching it. So as a comic, my aim is to do even more cities, even more newer cities, where they haven't seen any live stand up at all,
Hmm.
like Velur, like Kanchipuram, like Toothukudi, Tirunelveli. So these are the places which I am thinking of for the next. I was thinking of doing this, but I don't know when that will happen. But that's the aim, right? Aim of
Yeah.
reaching out to tier two, tier three cities, and putting out a show where that's how you create a curiosity among the audience on how a stand-up comedy works. As of now,
Hmm.
most of them are in weird imagination of how the whole thing is, unless and
Yeah.
until they come and saw it live.
Yeah.
So we have to go there and give them that experience, saying
Yeah.
now people are still asking, why is it priced, why the ticket prices are more than a movie. they don't understand the
Hmm.
distribution pattern. So what we have to do is we'll have to go establish a brand, establish ourselves, go and sit in their town, do a show, make them come and watch you live, and then experience it firsthand, and then okay, now I know why I'm paying this much money to watch. Why I'm paying this much more money than a movie to watch a show, because I'm getting a better experience by watching a live show than a recorded movie.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that way you develop a brand slowly and steadily. Not only people who are living in a city, people in a small village also should be able to come and watch a stand-up comedy. That's the ultimate goal
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
a comedian. So
Yeah.
that's what I am. I just started my journey towards it. I don't know when I'll reach, but I think I am going the right direction.
Yeah. I have two last questions, and the first one out of that is, what do you think about how these OTT platforms like Hotstar, Amazon, Netflix, all of these platforms are looking at regional comedy shows? I know that they are taking up regional movies, series, and all of those things. But how about taking up regional, comedy specials? What do you think is their expectations over there, or where do you see this going in the next few years?
I think it is in the right direction, because they should also be having a similar goal like me, like to reach out to more people, right? Uh, Basically, there's a separate comedy audience, there's a separate movie audience. Most of them are overlapping, but by having the stand-up special, regional stand-up special in their library, I think they'll attract a new kind of an audience, saying, okay, they are focusing on regional comedy as well. So I don't know. The ideologies and their strategies keep changing, all these MNCs. But I'm sure everybody will understand, and everybody will be united in this idea, saying buying a regional comedy will always work. Regional
Yeah.
stand-up will definitely help in for their own brand. Like instead of just focusing on English and Hindi,
Hmm.
if they focus on regional language, not only movies but other like a sketch,
Hmm.
like stand-up, anything,
Hmm.
definitely that will help their brand. And I'm sure they all know it. Only thing is they'll have to strategize, and they'll have to give their priorities on how much to spend on this and what is the budget and all that. But on a superficial level, on a biggest on a when you zoom out and think, when on a superficial level, definitely everybody will be thinking we definitely have to go into that market.
Hmm.
The point is how and when and why. So that's how it is.
Got it. And do you think the audience on this OTT platforms, or let's say the audience generally across our country, have they adapted to stand-up comedy, or they're still, just looking after film comedy, or, watching those TV serials? Because as you were referring, some people yet don't know what is stand-up comedy, and why is a stand-up comedy gig charged more than a movie like ticket? So do you think our audience in the country has adapted, or is now aware about what stand-up comedy is, and especially like a regional stand-up comedy, or what do you think is the scene?
We are in the right direction, but still a long way to go. Long way to go. Because see, when we started way back in 2010, slowly now from that time till here, we would have got about 10% of our audience to know about stand-up. Still 90% left. And especially when you compare with TV programs, ours is totally different, totally different. So still the huge amount of population who don't know about stand-up comedy, and who don't want to know about stand-up comedy, and who always think TV programs are better than stand-up comedy live.
Mm.
So, but that number is decreasing. That's the aim, right? Slowly but steadily that number is decreasing, and the fans of stand-up comedies are increasing. And slowly everybody will understand what stand-up comedy is and what kind of an art form is stand-up comedy. Slowly they'll pick their favorite and start
Mm.
watching his or her shows slowly, regularly. But it's going to take time for a country like India, where there are tons and tons of entertainment option, including our politicians. So so people, it's going to take time, definitely, but we are going to get there.
Got it. And last question, are you ever moving back to doing English comedy?
I doubt, because I took a conscious decision of moving from Bangalore to Chennai just because I'm performing in Tamil. So now going back to English, probably I'm still doing English for corporate and private events. Like
Mhm.
still I'm doing English, but for public consumption and for new videos and everything, I'm going to be it's going to be in Tamil.
So is the content also like just translated into English, or the English piece is something totally different when you do it for corporates or other people?
The English piece is totally different, which I have not released online. So
Okay.
that piece is still there only for corporate and private parties. Uh, for the new whatever content I'm writing, whatever gigs I'm doing, whatever programs I'm doing, everything will be in Tamil. So that is a market which I'm going for. Like the podcast which I'm going to work on again, it's going to be in Tamil. If I write a book, it will be in Tamil. So whatever I'm going to do, it's going to be in Tamil. Having moved to Chennai, it better be in Tamil.
I think you are nailing all the Tamil content pieces like book, YouTube, podcasting, comedy, everything. So that's really really great. I will have to start learning and understanding Tamil so that I can enjoy your
I'll do
company
my
and the content.
corporate bits for you separately. Because that will still be in English.
That would be great, but I'll also try to learn Tamil and
Yeah,
at least
please,
learn the
please,
basics so that I don't
please.
have to watch on the subtitles while I'm watching the Prime Video. But Praveen, I think thank you so much for giving us your time. This has been a very very fun conversation. I cannot wait to go back and see all your English videos also from
Oh, please.
2011 and go in there and comment keep
Perform in
doing
Tamil.
this. Yeah. So that's
Thank you.
something that I'm gonna do right after this call. But once again, thank you so much for giving us your time and speaking to us.
Thank you for having me, and best wishes for you and your podcast and for your company paper.
Thank you so much, Praveen.
I hope you enjoyed this conversation. And if you're trying to go ahead and create regional content in terms of entrepreneurship, comedy, or anything else, please feel free to do that. We keep writing about a lot of things that are happening in the content space in our Pepper Shots newsletter. The link to the newsletter is in the description of this episode. Uh, Please go ahead, read to that. If you like it, subscribe to it. And we share these newsletters every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday so that you can be updated with everything that's happening in the content space. So just go ahead and we'll see you again next week, Wednesday, 3 p.m., where we are releasing an episode with Raj Shamani. I'm sure you must have seen some of his reels that are going very crazy on Instagram these days, or any of his YouTube videos or his podcasts. There's also going to be a giveaway attached to the next episode. We'll tell you more about this next Wednesday. Till then, bye bye. Take care.